My name is Kiarie Kamau. I'm the Managing Director and CEO of East African Education Publishers, as well as the newly elected Chairman of the Kenya Publishers Association. It's an exciting moment having been elected to the pedestal of the publishing industry in Kenya. And let me say that actually Kenya is the leading country in terms of the publishing industry in the sub-Saharan part of Africa. We do recognize that the Kenya Publishers Association is an umbrella body of more than 100 publishers, out of which 30 of them are big publishers who do not only publish for the Kenyan market, but also for the larger East African market. I also want to mention that, at East African Education Publishers, where I'm the Managing Director, our chairman, Dr. Henry Chakagwa, is actually the founding chairman of the Kenya Publishers Association, and he served as the chairman of that particular association for more than 10 years in the 80s and also in the early 90s. Most people confuse publishing with printing, book selling, but let me say that we develop content. We work with others to develop content. We package the content, and we ensure that content is of the highest quality possible. And the content could be in form of textbooks targeting primary schools, secondary schools, sometimes tertiary institutions, as well as general reading materials, storybooks, novels, biographies, autobiographies, among others. In Kenya, you will visit any bookshop and find all these books, variety of them, coming from various publishers, be they multinationals, local, and so on and so forth. Much more, the Kenya Publishers Association is known for organizing the Nairobi International Book Fair, the biggest book fair in this part of Africa. Perhaps the only one that can come close to the Nairobi International Book Fair is the Cairo International Book Fair. It happens every September, and we usually hold it at the Sadi Center in Westlands, bringing together publishers from Kenya, from East Africa and other parts of Africa, from Asia, from Europe and beyond, showcasing books from early childhood learners books through to primary schools, secondary schools, general readership books, among so many others, and also giving opportunity to those who trade in stationery to showcase their wares. I want to mention that my election has come at a very critical time for about 3 reasons. One, in Kenya there is an implementation of the competency-based curriculum, the CBC. It is a new system of education. It has completely new way of approach, what we used to call the syllabus. We are now talking about curriculum design. It is competency based in the sense that it focuses much more on the learner doing as opposed to the teacher delivery, and therefore even the kind of books that we are doing are completely different. So publishers are getting the curriculum designs from the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, developing the content, submitting to the KICD for evaluation, getting approval or rejection for that matter, and proceeding to publish the books for both government purchase as well as to sell on the open market. We are now at level 7 of implementation, and we still have more levels to go up to grade 12. So this is a very critical time because the KPA must work very closely with the KICD as well as with the larger Ministry of Education, with the Kenya National Examinations Council, as well as ensure that it does proper coordination of all the publishers who are participating in the writing and publishing of the new competency-based curriculum textbooks. At the same time, my election has come at a time when all of us in the publishing industry are recovering from the devastating effects of COVID-19. Given that more than 85% of the textbooks, or of the books that are published in Kenya are actually textbooks, we were affected because when institutions closed, also bookstores closed, and therefore we didn't have channels into which to sell our books. Companies went into huge losses. They could barely pay salaries or even meet operational expenses, and now we are just coming out of those devastating effects. The economy is picking up slowly by slowly, so we are trying to encourage publishers, big and small, to continue with the resilience that they exhibited in 2020 and part of 2021 to drive the publishing industry to the levels that it was in 2019. I also want to mention that my election is coming at a time when we are also embracing the digital book. Most publishers are releasing their new works in both print and digital format. At the same time, most publishers are selling their books in both the printed as well as the digital format. So there are so many platforms, local, international, that are available onto which we can upload our books, but still the sales are not what we had expected way back in 2015. So there is a lot that we need in terms of training, especially on the marketing aspect of the digital book, online, to see that online sales are bringing the kind of revenues that can sustain a company. At EAEP, we are also happy because we are among the few publishers who look at publishing from the broadest sense of the word. You know, virtually anything that is publishable, we say every book has got its readers. So we try to look at every book that is presented to us as a potential product that should be released onto the market. One of the things that I'll be doing at KPA is to try to broaden the outlook of publishing, not just to focus on textbooks. If we want to get a space in the international arena, we have to publish books that go beyond the confines of the Kenyan market. Textbooks are just confined onto the Kenyan market, but general reading materials travel far and wide. They will go to other parts of Africa, they will go to Europe, they will go to Asia, they will go to Latin America. Others will be translated into French, Spanish, and so many other languages. That is the focus that we should have, so that when we hold the international book fair, our focus will not be merely selling of books, but also negotiating and selling rights for translation, rights to produce an edition in another country, and that kind of thing. So I would say it's a challenging but also intellectually stimulating time to be the chairman of the Kenya Publishers Association. Thank you.